I'm going to do it again. Please welcome the Y chromosome.
I just want to say, is Louise Slaughter still here? There she is. Now, isn't it amazing in political life how if you have a Southern accent, how it serves you? I want to think, where would Chris Christie be if he could just say, I did not close that bridge, I did not. And shame on all y'all for saying I did. Had nothing whatsoever to do with that. My goodness gracious. I think you might get away with it. And I also want to mention before I get to my comments that we all know that Bill Gates mentioned that we shouldn't, that money should go to philanthropic dollars shouldn't be spent on the arts. They should go toward more serious causes. And I just want to say, Bill, I've got 2 tickets for the New York Philharmonic for you right here in my pocket. Anytime you want to come with me to New York, come see a concert. Maybe he just doesn't understand, poor Bill. Come on to New York with me, Bill. But I want to mention just 2 things. One is that, as you all know, art is everywhere. We know that. I mean, here we are again, another spring, early spring. Our band of merry men and women come to Washington to ask for an amount of money, which we know should be 5 times that amount of money to fund the arts in this country. But art is, of course, all around us in this room. I've said this before. This building is a work of art. And if art didn't matter, then why aren't we having this meeting at a glass and steel building out in Arlington, Virginia, and we just sell this building to Donald Trump and let him make it into a casino and save ourselves some money? The Trump Capitol, it could be. One of the finest hotels in Washington. Beautiful common areas there in the Capitol Dome. I mean, art is everywhere. The clothes you're wearing, the cars you drive in, design, art, this building. Everywhere we go, art has an obvious, not just the performing arts, art has an obvious and not so obvious place in our lives. And I want to also say that in terms of government service of the arts, my perspective on the arts today as I'm getting older is that the government is always funding programs that are available to you at certain points in your life, later in your life. You're born and you don't drive a car, but we have to maintain a Department of Motor Vehicles because eventually you're going to drive a car. And we build roads because eventually you're going to drive on that road. And we have health care programs because eventually you're going to get sick. And we have programs for the elderly because eventually you're going to get old. And we have the arts. We fund the classic arts, as I like to think about it, whatever they may be. Performing arts and music, dance, visual arts, museums. We fund literature. We fund these programs because eventually, when you're young, songs where someone sings, ooh baby, ooh baby, ooh baby, I love you, ooh baby. That's not enough anymore after a while. You need something else, and you want something else. And as we get older, our tastes become more sophisticated, and we want something different. And the arts are there to provide that for us, provided we support the arts. Government support of the arts is not something we do to hand some eclectic group of people. We don't do it for the artist, per se, although they are included in the equation. We do it for the audience. We do it for the audience of people who, as they become older and more sophisticated, want something different. They want a more unique experience. They want a more enriching experience that is provided by the commercial marketplace. If we lived and died only, and we existed only on what is provided by the commercial marketplace, and I work in the entertainment business, it would be somewhat limited. I'm being kind when I put it that way. It would be somewhat limited. We support the arts, and you support the arts, and you're going to go around the halls of these, the rooms and the hallways of this office building to share with them your experience as to why this is important to you. Make it personal. I was talking to Nina before this, said, what's the message you want Americans for the Arts to convey to this group? Make it personal. Why are you here? Why did you come here? People come here all the time and ask for things, and they ask this government to fund things. And you're here today to tell them, why are the arts important to you and your community? And the arts art's not just for people when they get older and they're more mature, but arts for the young. Arts that will help children experience life. I mean, I'm 55 years old. I've got a 7-month-old daughter. I've got a little baby. And, we're not sitting down with my daughter and talking to her about, the history of World War II, or showing her advanced weapons systems that we want her to play with, and attack fighter jets that we want her to. This is what the government is buying for you now. This plane is the finest plane made in the Air Force. We take children into a world of art. We bring children into a world of art, and they linger in that world of art, and they stay in that world of art, storytelling, painting, flinging their food on the floor and calling that art. I'm experiencing that right now. We bring children into this world, the primary corridor that a child exists in, other than the sound of human voices. I'm watching my second child have the experience. My other daughter is 18 years old, and I'm watching my young daughter, grow up now these last few months, and you see where everything is about this, just showering this child with love and soothing voices and kindness and care and art, letters and music and all these things that you present this child to. The first days of your life, weeks of your life, months of your life are experiences that have a soundtrack and a set design, if you will, that is highly concentrated on art. I also want to thank, there are two people, I want to thank the congressman from the Saratoga district, correct? No? From Staten Island, but where's our, you're from the Saratoga, I knew I was one of the two in this aisle here. And thank you to Staten Island as well. Well, they have OTB there in Staten Island. They don't have horse racing programs, but they have horse racing parlors there. But the congressman from Saratoga, we need the support of both sides of the aisle. And when people, men and women, Republicans and Democrats, make a stand on behalf of this work and this funding, which is difficult, everything's a fight. Everything's a fight when it comes to the arts. This is the most abused program in U.S. history. We have to come here every year. I've been coming here for over 20 years, having to explain why we need cowboy poetry in Oklahoma and all these other things. I'm having to explain it to congressmen from Oklahoma. I'm like, you're kidding. You don't want the Cowboy Poetry Festival in Oklahoma? I'm like, oh my God, I read this whole thing the wrong way. I would have thought you would have loved this program. But my point is that those men and women and those members of the House in both sides of the aisle who fight this fight for us, we need to thank them. And I'd like to have a round of applause for these members of Congress. Thank you. And thank you. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. This is a program that for some reason it's always misunderstood and misinterpreted by some people. So when you go out there today, and to quote Nina, make it personal. Tell them why you're here. Tell them why you care about this. Tell them why you think, and thank them. And thank them. Make sure that those people who give you their time and agree to meet with you and have the discussion with you, and especially those that support this program, really thank them. And go out there and give them hell today. Good luck. Thank you.